Hello, and there's a great deal of excitement here, as you can probably tell, on this very special occasion. Not only inside here in the foyer, but outside in Leicester Square itself, where the crowds have been gathering for some good long while now, despite the persistent rain. Well, the people outside are all looking for that glimpse of the stars of the cinema world, and also looking forward to seeing the arrival of Her Majesty the Queen and Prince Philip and other members of the royal party. Well, I shall be looking forward to a few close encounters with some of the stars of the cinema world myself in a few moments, but in the meanwhile, it's back to Chris.
Steven Spielberg, how far back does your interest in UFOs go?
A long time. I'd say maybe 10 or 11 years, since I was an elementary school student.
Well, now you have a child in the film, of course, who's even younger than an elementary school student, Harry Guffey, and you get out of him a sense of wonder that I've never seen in a child, and not at all affected. How did you achieve that?
A lot of that is, you have to give Harry Guffey credit. I looked at 150 children, and he was the only child I saw who had a gift for being very natural and being himself and not being intimidated by 40 or 50 crew people and a camera and lights. And he's a very, very wondrous, awestruck little boy.
You said that was the proudest achievement of the picture for you, is that true?
For me it was, because my entire point of view was through his eyes. So it was...
For a generation brought up on heroes like Gary Cooper, of course, Richard Dreyfuss is an unusual star, but nevertheless he is a massive star. What are the qualities you find in him?
Well, for me, Richard is much more the proletarian. He's much more that sort of middle class lifestylist where nothing extraordinary would happen to somebody like Richard, as opposed to somebody else like Robert Redford. And I felt that it would be easier for an audience to see the story through Richard's eyes.
Now, your friend George Lucas, of course, is going on to make Star Wars and would like more Star Wars. Are you going to be tempted, do you think, to have Close Encounters of the fourth, fifth, and sixth kind?
Well, I don't know if I'm really tempted. I think that Close Encounters lends itself to a sequel much more than, let's say, a film like Jaws. And so I'm anxious to explore the possibility of not 4 or 5 sequels, but perhaps one.
But if it lends itself to a sequel, presumably it would have to take them up there, wouldn't it?
Not necessarily. I don't want to give anything away, but there are so many Earthbound stories that are left unanswered at the end of Close Encounters.
The critics loved Duel and Sugarland Express, of course. Jaws made a fortune, and this one will too. Do you find you're under tremendous pressure now from the money man to top your last performance?
Well, I'm under pressure. It's my individual choice not to listen to the pressure or feel the pressure and make what I want to make as a filmmaker, not as somebody who has some sort of an obligation to corporate Hollywood.
What do you want to make as a filmmaker next?
I'm making a very small movie, a very tiny budget, a film 4-week schedule called After School, about children growing up in America.
This is for the big screen or the small?
This is for the big screen, but it's something that Francois Truffaut influenced me. He nagged me to make this movie. It's kind of an American version of Small Change.
I think the Truffaut is very effective in the picture. The Indian sequence must have cost a fortune for a very short time.
You know something interesting? The Indian sequence was the least expensive of every sequence in the entire film.
Really?
The Indian sequence cost less than it cost to rent one of the cameras that shot Close Encounters, because of the amount of rupees Columbia had frozen in India. So we were lucky.
Stephen, thank you very much.